An unexpected encounter. Sara was a young city professional who, tired of the routine and stress of her daily life, decided to join an international volunteer project. She wanted to do something more significant than just working behind a desk, and the opportunity to collaborate in a small town in southern Chile seemed like the perfect occasion. Alejandro, on the other hand, having gone through a difficult experience in her life, the death of her mother. After months of mourning, she felt she had lost her way. It was then that she heard about the volunteer project. Y, without thinking too much, decided to join. He needed a change, a break, and perhaps a way to heal. The first day on the project was chaotic. The volunteers arrived from different parts of the world, all with different expectations and reasons to join. Sara, with her extroverted attitude, quickly blended in with the group, organizing activities and collaborating with the rest of the voluntarios. Alejandro, however, remained in the background, observing everything with a mixture of curiosity and a certain reserve. It was on one of those first days, during an excursion to a forest sea Acano, when they met. Sara, who walked a step faster than the rest, noticed Alejandro standing in front of an old tree, taking photos of the views. Without thinking much, she approached. Did you know that this forest is more than 500 years old? He asked, smiling as he looked at his camera. Alejandro looked at her, slightly surprised, but smiled too. No, I didn't know. The truth is that I'm here more to find some peace than to know the history of the place. Sara stopped, surprised by his sincerity. It wasn't common to hear someone talk so openly about their life. That sounds like you're looking for more than just a change of scenery, she said, softly. He nodded, and for a moment, a comfortable silence fell between them. Perhaps I just need Enco, let's meet again, Alejandro responded, looking at the horizon. Together on the route? Throughout the following weeks, Sara and Alejandro began to work together on various tasks. Although their approaches, they were different. Sara with her energy and enthusiasm, and Alejandro with his calmer and more reflective approach, they discovered that they complemented each other perfectly. Sara enjoyed Alejandro's company, and soon began to realize that he was not just the calm man he appeared to be. There was a depth in his eyes, a story behind his silence. In his free time, he began in sharing stories of their lives. And it was in those moments when she discovered more about his pain. Alejandro spoke to her of the loss of his mother, of how life had completely changed him and death had left him empty inside. Sara, for her part, told him about her insecurities and how, despite her professional success, she felt something was missing. Although her life was full of achievements, he felt he wasn't on the right path. His heart longed for something more, something real. One day, after an afternoon of working in the field, they sat together by a bonfire. The fire island, they lowered their faces, creating a warm and welcoming atmosphere. Have you noticed how easy it is to talk to someone when you don't have to worry about other people's expectations? Sar commented, looking at the flames. Alejandro smiled slightly, with a look that showed a little sadness. Yes, it's as if time stopped here, and things became clearer, simpler. The trip together, as the volunteer project progressed, Sara and Alejandro spent more time together. One day, they decided to take a longer walk along the path leading to the sea, from a hill, from where one could see the entire valley. The walk, which initially was only an excuse to escape the group for a while, became something much deeper. During the Minata, Sara began to talk about her past, her fears, and unfulfilled dreams. Alejandro listened silently, his attention focused only on her. It was strange how she had begun to feel a comfortable chair beside her. Sometimes I feel like I'm losing my way, she said as they walked along the path. Work, and work, but I don't know if it's what I really want to do. Alejandro, who had lived with that same uncertainty, answered with a sincerity that surprised Sara. I think we are all looking for something. Sometimes we just need to stop and listen to the wind to make us realize that not everything in life has to be perfect to be valuable. Sara looked at him, surprised by the depth of his words. At that moment, something changed in her. Common! He began to realize that the connection that had begun to form between them was not just a friendship, it was something deeper, a silent love. One afternoon, After an exhausting day, the group they gathered around the bonfire. The conversation began to become lighter, full of laughter and funny anecdotes. But Sara and Alejandro found themselves sitting in silence, looking at each other without saying a word. It was at that moment that, for the first time, Sara realized that she was beginning to feel differently towards him. I don't know how it happened, but I think you've helped me more than you imagine. She said it in a low voice. Alejandro looked at her, his eyes reflecting a mixture of surprise and warmth. Maybe we both needed to meet to help us move on. It was at that moment that without thinking, they approached and shared a soft kiss, as if the universe had aligned everything for this perfect encounter. New paths. At the end of the project, Sara and Alejandro said goodbye. They left the small town, but their connection didn't end there. They had discovered together that sometimes the answers don't arrive when one seeks them, but when one allows oneself to be vulnerable and open to the more y a las nuevas experiencias. Both returned to their respective lives, but with a fundamental difference. They knew that now they were not alone, and that, in some way, their paths intertwined forever. And this story is based on realistic situations and reflects how two real people can meet, heal, and connect amidst a meaningful adventure.